Leafs? How about Easton Cowan? How about you explain what happened to that hat? Do you own an elephant? I left it at the bottom of the front hall closet underneath all the kids' old boots. That'll do it. In fairness, I never assumed I would need it again. And then the Leafs drafted a kid with the nickname Cowboy, yeah. Well, for one, I like the Sully bit a lot better, and for two, I am Hat Guy. Let's go! It starts with an A and ends with anxiety. Off the charts levels of passion. That's just a nightmare. With you wherever you are, welcome to LFR. Yes, buddy! Victory, puppies! Every time the Leafs win, it's $50 to the Humane Society of Durham Region. Leafs win! 2-1 in overtime over the Flyers in Philadelphia. Let's talk about that awesome game. And let's talk about what a rock star Scotty Laughton is. Holy cow. Like, before we even talk about the game as a whole, Scott Laughton, what a lifetime contract. Lifetime contract immediately. It's his return to Philadelphia, and everyone loves him. He was the Leafs' best player. NHL.com has the #1 star as Easton Cowan. I love Cowboy, but what are we doing? Scott Laughton was the center of attention all night and absolutely killed it. He is the principal reason they won that game. You saw all the fun stuff. He led the stretches, and he's back in his old stomping grounds where he played hundreds and hundreds of games. And for a hard-nosed player like Scott Laughton, it can actually be sort of tough returning and playing against your old team. Because here's the thing, you saw that Panthers game, Scott Laughton's got to play with a little bit of hate. He doesn't have a cut on the bridge of his nose because he's good at checkers. But sometimes it can be hard to like mix it up and be angry with all these guys who are your teammates and friends. So in this game, Scott Laughton played the perfect return game against a team full of his old friends. And I'm going to tell you about it, and you're never going to watch a return game the same ever again. Because with a player like that, they have to mix it up somehow. They got to go at somebody. So what do? All night is they go at the guys on the other team who they didn't play with. Trevor Zegras, I don't even know you. Screw you. Nikita Krabenkin, I don't know you. I was traded for you. Screw you. Carl Grundstrom's 28 now. Oh my goodness, time is going fast. Anyway, we didn't play together. Screw you. And then late in the game, Rasmus Ristolainen, who Laughton did play with, lit him up. And so Laughton goes, okay then, and pulls a Super Mario star out of his back pocket, and he's just 37, this is my job. The man, surprisingly, only played 14 minutes and 4 seconds in this game. It felt a lot longer, and I'm sure it felt way longer to the Flyers because he made every second hell. I mean, what an insane stat line. 95% in the face-off dot. Here's a little stat pack from Luke Fox. Game-tying shorthanded goal. 3 minutes and 57 seconds of shorthanded time on ice, and a chunk of that was at 5-on-3, and he was 19-1 in the faceoff dot in 20 faceoffs. And after the game, he got the belt. You know why? Because he gave the Flyers the belt all night long. Buddy, he did his little stretches, he talked to his friends, they played the video on the Jumbotron, everyone said, we love you, Scotty, he said, I love you back, and then it was all business. Scott Laughton. Yes, guy! And you gotta do a soliloquy on Scott Laughton because this game only had 3 goals in it. There were none in the first period, so we go to the second. Now, unfortunately, Troy Stecher took a penalty right at the end of the first period, and that bled into the second. The Leafs kill it because their penalty kill is incredible. Even without Troy Stecher, he's a huge reason why it's incredible. You know who else is a big reason? Scott Laughton! But unfortunately, Stecher comes out of the box, he goes to the bench, and the Leafs, they take a second to sort of get organized. Because even when you kill a penalty, it's not over right at the 2-minute mark, is it? No, like it takes a sec. On the TSN broadcast, they were right. Like there were a bunch of guys who could have been better here. Matthews and Meyer in front. Domi is clearly not expecting the puck to come to Konechny here. Just a flat-footed, lazy, huh. It's a great ripper of a shot from Konechny, but now, just 55 seconds into the second period, the Flyers, who are a defensively smothering team all of a sudden, have a 1-0 lead. I know Flyers fans have their complaints about Rick Tocchet. A lot of them have to do with like Michkov and certain handlings of certain things. Well, as I look at the standings right now, the Flyers have 52 points and are third in the Metro. They are 1 point behind the Islanders for second in the Metro, and they have 2 games in hand. If the Flyers win their 2 games in hand that they have on the Hurricanes, they'll be 1 point back of the Hurricanes for the Metro Division lead. This is a different, better team, and I didn't appreciate it enough until I got to watch them play against the Leafs. Holy cow, is this team different. A lot of personnel changes, a lot of DNA changes, but I think a lot of that is Rick Tocchet. I mean, that and Dan Vladar, who had an .898 save percentage in 30 games last season and an .898 save percentage over the course of his whole career, is performing really well. 16-6-4 with a 9-10. This is his best season since, this is his best season. 9-10 is his highest save percentage. His highest previously was 906. 16 wins is already his career best. I'll be honest, when the Flyers signed him this summer, I'm like, oh, well, that's bad. You already have enough goalies who you don't even know are good or not. Why'd you get another one? Well, for the Flyers this year, Vladar's been better than good. And the reason I put emphasis on this and how smothering of a team the Flyers are and how good their goaltending has been is because the Leafs looked like they were going to get shut out for a bit. I mean, one thing that's been fairly consistent for this team in what has been a really inconsistent year, they've scored goals. Even in the stretch that they've had where they've done really well, 5-0-2 heading into this game, and most of that without William Nylander, they've scored goals. Oh, they weren't scoring goals in this one. And this was like old boa constrictor hockey. Neither team looks like they're going to hit even 20 shots. And halfway through the third period, it looked like this game was going to go to hell expeditiously. Forget the fact that the Flyers thought they scored, and by the Flyers, I mean specifically Trevor Zegras, who has the most expressive face, I think, in the entire league. He's like, yeah, we scored! The ref waving it off. He's nope, let's celebrate. Yeah! And I got to admit, even though it's annoying that Trevor Zegras did that, I like it. I've told the story before, but I'll tell you again. I used to do dragon boat races in high school. It's a really practical sport. You just get in a really long boat with 20 other people, 19 other rowers, and a coxswain. Google it, just be careful. In my high school, we were pretty good at it. And our coach gave us some advice. Okay, guys, it's the day of the big race, the regatta. We're on the water and we're here to win. Now we're racing some other really good teams out there. And what's important to note is this is going to be a very close race. And what's even more important to note is they don't have photo finish technology at a high school regatta. And you might be like, yeah, they do. Yeah, not in 2005 they didn't. So his advice to us, besides have a really good race, is once you cross the finish line, arms in the air and celebrate like you won. And the problem for Trevor Zegras and the Philadelphia Flyers is, they do have video replay and you can't prove that the puck went in. I don't think it did. So it goes. Nyes takes the penalty on Denver Barkey. It's a slash. The ref calls it. That sucks. He's a penalty killer. Andrew trying to tie the game. Don't like that. Then about halfway through, Troy Stetcher takes a penalty. Oh, that sucks. He's a penalty killer, and you're trying to tie the game. Don't like that! Oh, and mid-kill, Scott Laughton got flattened. But here's the thing. The Flyers weren't satisfied with a 1-0 lead. They wanted more. Hey, they're on the power play after all. But you know the darndest thing? You need the puck to score. Every single time that ref dropped the puck. Laughton, gimme that. Laughton, gimme that. Laughton, back up a little bit. Don't get kicked out. Gimme that. 19-1! And then with Nyes out of the box, still shorthanded by the way, Laughton ages into his shift, carries it down the ice, toe drag, rips it, buries it! Scott! Rockstar! Laughton! Ties it! And I'm just sitting here going, please give him a lifetime contract. And also, that's a big point. That's a huge point. Please lock down the point, but that's a huge point. There have been a number of games this season where the Leafs got a point out of it, but you look at it and go, oh man, that should have been 2. That should have been 2. I know they got a point, but I'm disappointed it should have been 2. They blew it. This was a game where I'm like, if they lose in overtime or the shootout, Flyers are young and crafty and fast. They might just win it in overtime. If it goes to the shootout, I mean, Zegras is practically automatic. Michkov's not bad either. But this thing was a derby. Breakaway's going both ways. Zegras gets the breakaway on Hildeby, and I'm already making peace with the fact that the game's over. Game's not over! Easton Cowan gets a breakaway, and I'm like, I sure hope the game's over! Game's not over! I kick the camera. No, Drew, leave it in. This is chaos. 2-on-1. Flyers pull off the pass. The save. Hildeby going like this. Puck's right there. Wide open net. Morgan Riley. Puck stays out. Puck goes the other way. It's on John Tavares' stick. 2-on-1. Cowan's still out there. Tavares spins between the legs. Passes. Hits Cowan. Score! Man, I got news for you. If this thing doesn't go in, if Vladar, kicks it into the corner, kicks it down the ice, this game is over. The Flyers have a 2-on-1. They have a breakaway. They got nothing good for the Leafs is what they got. But Easton Cowan, who has scored 1/3 of his career NHL goals in that building somehow, ends it in overtime. The rookie with the GWG. And the Leafs are now 6-0-2 in their last 8 and sit 1 point out of a playoff spot. That doesn't mean they're going to win their next game. It doesn't mean they're going to win the one after that. It doesn't mean they're going to win any of their next 3. It's an 82-game season. That's so many games. This thing is a slog. It is a slugfest. We have legitimately no idea who's going to be there, especially in the East. But going 6-0-2 in 8 games, that's a hell of a way to start. Questions. I love this one. Hot take, Leafs Nation. When was the last time we faced adversity in the regular season? This core usually faces it in round 1, game 7 of the playoffs. If the Leafs can make the playoffs, look for them to take the next step. I've been asked this question a few times. Again, don't count your chickens before they hatch. There's no guarantee that the Leafs make the playoffs. They're not in a playoff spot. I don't know if they've been in a playoff spot a single day this season. Maybe they have. I don't know. It doesn't matter. They ain't now. But here's the thing. When was the last time? The 1920 season. That's it. And during the 1920 season, there was no guarantee after Game 70 that they were going to miss the playoffs. But the reason that it stops at Game 70 is because of COVID. But that team, that wasn't a very good team, had to fight and claw and scratch for everything, and they had a ton of injuries, especially on the back end. Gosh, doesn't that sound familiar? And then what happened in the first round? Nothing, because they didn't make the first round. They were eliminated in the qualifying round. But in fairness, the qualifying round was months after the season had ended. It was weird. I'm not going to necessarily hold it against them. If you want a real answer, 16-17 season. The first season these guys were together. The Cardiac Kid Leafs. The all-rookie team, Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Hyman was there. Mo wasn't a rookie, but he was still very young. Guys like Connor Brown and Kasperi was Kasperi Kapanen even? Oh yeah, he very famously was by the end of it. That team didn't make the playoffs until the second last day of the season. And what happened? Did they win in the first round? No. But if you remember correctly, they were taking on the President's Trophy winning Washington Capitals. And everyone said the same thing, Caps in 3. The Caps won the first game of the series, and the young Leafs got a ton of kudos just for getting the game to overtime, despite the fact that they had the lead and blew it. That's how low the expectations were. Then they win in double OT. They win with a power play goal in overtime on home ice to take the series lead. It's a 6-game series. 5 of those games go to overtimes, 6 periods of overtime total, and every single game decided by 1 goal. There's a reason everyone thought these guys were going to contend at the time. They weren't supposed to do that. The Capitals were supposed to steamroll them. And when the Capitals didn't, they wilted a little bit. And as for the Leafs, well, they had been underdogs and fighting and clawing all season long. It was nothing new to them. And that series was a slugfest. After that, for the next 2 seasons, they waltzed to the playoffs. 1920 was weird. They won the Canadian division, just stomping everybody. We know how it ended. Waltzed to the playoffs in 22. We know how it ended. Waltzed to the playoffs in 23. Won a series. We know how it ended. Same with 2024. They won the division in 2025. No difference. Listen, we're fans. We want to see the team that we are fans of win. And we saw them in like November and early December. These were not like, oh, you know, they're just unlucky. No, they were straight garbage. This isn't like, oh, trust the process. If they trusted the process, they wouldn't have fired anybody. And they did. This team, injuries, flu bugs, firings, the condensed schedule, the everything, whatever it happens to be, they're going through it. And honestly, for this group, it might not be the worst thing. But for it to have an effect on the playoffs, you got to make the playoffs. But winning games like this, where, just like all season long, you had to fight and claw for everything, and coming out of it with 2 points, oh, that helps. That helps a lot. So, what did you think of this game? Leave a comment in the comment box down below. But for now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you liked this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Drew and Stu are doing a live show in Kingston. Link in the description down below. It's this weekend. I'm trying to make the jump sound. Boom, boom, boom.